What is up, everybody? Welcome to the 10,145 subscribers special. Why that number? Because I didn't do anything at 10,000 subscribers. So technically, this is the 10,000 subscriber special, even though we have 145 extra subscribers as I'm making this video. So this episode, I'm going to do something special for you guys. Hypothetically, this will be the psychology episode because for whatever reason, I've never actually did a full-on trading psychology episode. It's not in the library, and I need to do it. And also, I mean, usually I do something special for these milestone markers, like the 5,000 sub special and the 1,000 sub special. I am launching another YouTube channel that has everything to do with trading and nothing to do with trading. But before we do that, you're probably wondering, Fat Cat, why do you look like somebody that sells pirated DVDs out of the trunk of their Lincoln Town Car in front of a 7-Eleven at 11:30 p.m.? Well, I thought it was a good look. You know what's funny is I was actually drinking at a bar the other fucking day. I like to have wine every now and then. And the guy I was wearing these glasses, and the guy who was sitting next to me goes, "Man, you're one scary looking dude." So I don't know. But do I look scary, or do I look like some shiesty fucking alley monster? I don't know. But these are blue light blockers. I actually really like these glasses. Apparently amber lenses help. So I like to wear these sitting in front of the computer, especially at night. But we're not going to do that. We're going to... the light! We're going to go ahead and put on our normal attire, because it's the special. We gotta look like we normally look like for the 10,000 subscriber special. I mean, we gotta look. All right, there we go. You recognize me now, folks? I look a lot fucking friendlier, that's for sure, without that fucking disguise. Yeah, but before we jump into this, guys, I've had so many coffee donations roll in. I mean, you guys have donated like $100, $50, even $3. I love it. You guys came in clutch when I made the moonshot video. If you've not seen that, that was just, while it was a record-breaking trade, it's just this fucking piece of trading comedy I put together. So a lot of you guys actually came in clutch on that. Thank you for the donation, guys. That means a lot to me that you guys really do appreciate the content coming in. And I also, I just want to thank those of you who just, donations aside, 10,145 subscribers. That shit means a lot to me, guys. I really do appreciate the love I've gotten from the community over the years. Granted, this is probably the slowest growing trading channel on YouTube, but fuck it. I think it has a lot to do with the way I talk, and the videos are really long. But those of you that are here and love it, you guys tell me all the time, somebody told me this is a criminally underrated channel, and I'm told it's a hidden gem all the time. So those of you that truly do love this channel for what it is, I hear it all the time. I have no doubt in my mind it'll continue to grow. And what's crazy is when I went on this endeavor of making YouTube videos, it was I never had the intentions of actually doing this. I started this YouTube channel, and this is going to be a long one if you haven't noticed below. This is going to be a long video, a lot to talk about, but this is a special, baby. But, and also I think this episode is a good episode where you don't even have to watch it. If you want to just listen to it in your car, go for it, because I'm just going to be flapping my gums. But again, this is going to be a great episode on psychology. But I mean, just, it's the 10,000 subscribers special. I need to talk about it, I never had the intentions of doing this. I recorded on YouTube just to store my trading footage there. And then I made a video for one guy who was asking me all these futures questions that I met online. So I made them publicly. And then I'm like, you know what? Maybe I can read a how to read a DOM video because I comprehend that. And I don't think a lot of the videos out there are all that great, which is still my most popular video. I made it a long time ago and I just left it there. And then the channel started fucking growing and people were asking me to make more content. So it's like, okay, fuck it. So this was just kind of this, accident. Kind of funny how that shit works. When you're really not attached to outcome, it's kind of crazy how things unfold the way they do. But, you know, even though it's still a small channel, I fucking love you guys. I love the community. You guys have been amazing. You know, the community I've built around this channel, I've made friends. Like, I have friends now. Before that, my only friends were my cats. So I made friends through this channel. Now, I got fucking friends outside of this, okay? But, no, it's really good to meet people with similar interests, and to really, you know, have created a community and just bond with some of you guys. Shit's awesome. So I really am blessed, if you will, hashtag blessed, emoji pray hands, for you guys. It means a lot to me. I'm gonna start crying here. All right, keep it together. But anyways, so we're gonna talk about psychology, which, God, man, I'm fucking excited. But before we get into that, I need to talk about this other channel. Okay. So I have another channel. That's what I'm going to give you guys for the 10,000 subscriber special. All of you may not be interested in it. That's fine, because I know there are those of you in this community that are interested in it. I've been told. Not that you're necessarily interested in this channel, but this type of content. It is called The Cult of Cat. So I want you guys to understand something. The way I carry myself, and the way I sort of feel, how can I say it? Feel the way the way I feel emotionally on a day-to-day basis, the way I carry myself up here, is so important to trading that if I don't do this channel, I'm doing the trading community a huge disservice. So on this channel, like, somebody actually asked me, hey, can you talk about depression? Which I can. On this channel, I will be talking more about my personal life. I will be talking about depression, dealing with it, anxiety. Even there's been moments where I've thought about suicide. And I want to share these stories and how I've dealt with it, because I'm a human like you guys. Like, I deal with fucked up situations. But more importantly, on this channel, it's the way I deal with it and come out of the situations. Like, I hit lulls, okay? I trust me, I hit low. Just this last November, I hit a pretty bad lull where, you know, I had a fucking relationship go down the shitter, and then it's been really bumpy, really up until this point. But some crazy, amazing shit has been happening, so I'm good. But this channel also goes into law of attraction, law of vibration stuff. Because that's something I've been doing for a long time. And I have a lot of weird paranormal shit happen to me. I want to share more of that. This channel is not appropriate for it. I know that stuff isn't everybody's cup of tea. But again, there's those of you that I know for a fact are interested in that. And also there are people who don't want anything to do with trading that is interested in that. So part of the essence of this channel is to just create a whole nother community around something else that I'm very passionate about. Like, I do love trading. I love talking about this subject, but I'm very much into this other stuff like law of attraction. So that's why that channel exists. And if you guys have not seen the coaching series with Slim Trading, him and I have talked on the phone a lot throughout our initial introduction to each other. I believe it was at the beginning of July when him and I started doing the coaching, and you can see when we first met in the coaching series in episode 1. But if you actually pay attention to the coaching series, we do a lot of like affirmations. I talk to him about how I had to believe I was a 7-figure trader before I achieved it, which I'm not a 7-figure trader, not yet. But I told him how, you got to believe you can do this beforehand. You need to really believe you can do this. And then in the later episode, we did a visualization where I have him kind of go into a meditative state. And then, we have him visualize that he's already a rich guy and he lives in Miami because he lives somewhere up north where it's all fucked up. It's always cold and snowing, and he wants to go somewhere warm. So we did a visualization where he's like already wealthy. And then we go walk him through this like kind of guided meditation and visualization thing. And that had nothing to do with trading. And he comes out of it, and you can watch that episode. He comes out of it just feeling absolutely good. And he listens to this audio track and it gets him amped up. And him and I have talked a lot on the phone. In a lot of our sessions, we don't even talk really about trading because he's dealt with a lot of, the depression or anxiety or whatever. And a lot of what we've talked about has been more of inspiring him to just carry himself differently and to view the world in a different place. And I'm seeing him, really change as a person, and he's feeling it too, to where like he's just happier. And that I think is very important. And that's very inspiring to like help somebody. I mean, he's doing it on his own, but to kind of guide somebody and help them sort of get to a better place up here. That for me is just like, I fucking love that shit. I love seeing, and I consider this person a friend now. Like, there's somebody that's a friend. To see a friend, just be happy, to get a lot better. And, a lot of what I was telling him to do, like the affirmations and the meditations and all that stuff, he was skeptical at first, but he did it with an open mind and an open heart. And now he sees the benefit of it. And, I share with him a lot of my personal life and all the weird shit that happens with the law of attraction shit. And he's also had some weird shit happen to him as well. Actually, one thing that really did inspire him that he did share a lot of, and this is, we're easing our way into the psychology thing, was there was one morning where I was at the gas station getting a drink or something, and my car wouldn't start. So I walked about 2 miles back to my place on the side of the highway, and I came in and crushed a trading session. Like, I made it for the market open. And he's like, dude, I don't know how you did that, because you did it with such a great attitude. He's like, if that was me, it would have ruined my day. The way I saw it was, oh, the car's not working. Fuck it. Whatever. I'll figure it out. I want to go trade. I want to go just trade, enjoy the trading session. I'll worry about this later. And the weather is nice. I'm going to just enjoy this walk. And it was a good walk. I got some exercise, came in with a great attitude, felt great because I like walked for 2 miles and then traded the session and crushed it. And it all had to do with what's going on up here. And a lot of people in that situation would have really fucked themselves. So that's what I want to share more of on the Cult of Cat. And we'll also be talking about it here on this episode. And I will be giving you guys tools and tips to hopefully, help you guys out. Because I notice a lot of the trading community seems to sort of, you guys really manifest your own downfall in the trading sessions. Now, I'm not going to really tap into the mysticism of all that shit on this channel, which I believe in. I'm going to keep things logical for those of you who that's what you need. But, Slim and I, we talk a lot about this stuff. And it's just like, I've just had this need and feeling to do this other channel. And I have no expectations with that other channel, just like this channel. To be honest with you, I just feel that it would help some guys, especially to share my story of some of the fucking shit I've gone through. So that's why it exists. So with that being said, I want to kind of share what's going on more recently. So I really had been crushing trading in January, was hitting record after record. And then the beginning of February. Now, about week 2 in February, I started to struggle. I started to struggle up here too. What I noticed I was doing a lot of was complaining. I would complain about market conditions. I'd be like, this volatility is atrocious. This volatility is shitty. Every trade is coming back. Like every fucking trade was coming back. Every trade kept coming back. And I wasn't scaling out. I left so much on the table. And there was a point where I'm like, I think I'm about to go into a slump. I'm about to go into a slump. I'm going to go into a slump. Because it was like 4 days of just really nothing really happening in the P&L. Small losses, really nothing happening. Barely anything was happening. And I went from just absolutely killing it to like struggling. Just treading water, basically. So I remember this distinctively. It was like 4 days of struggling, trading. And on day 5, I'm like, dude, I'm the problem here. When I talk negatively about the market, I start to think from a negative perspective. The trading is usually never that fucking great, or it goes to hell. So I have enough self-awareness at this point in my trading to know that, part of the problem is me and the way I'm thinking about all of this, the way I'm carrying myself through the session. And at this point, I have been doing a lot of meditation because like in November, I experienced this fucking relationship breakup, and the holidays were really rough for me, and then mentally, and then I was really working hard on getting back on the path of carrying myself really well up here, consuming a lot of this law of attraction material on YouTube, which I like. I like to consume a lot of that stuff because it makes you feel good. A lot of meditating, a lot more meditating, because I noticed when I was in that relationship, I stopped doing a lot of this shit for myself, and I started to slack horrifically, mentally, and all that story will be shared on the other channel at some point. But I really started to get back on top of it, up here. I started to get back on top of it and get my shit back together mentally. But it would waver, you know. There would be days where I just wouldn't catch it, you know. There'd be a lot of days where I'm there, but then there'd be days where I wouldn't catch it. So I got my shit together, and on that 5th day, I did well. But I'm like, yeah, I'm the problem. I'm the problem here. I am causing issues in my trading by the way I think about the market. So I had end up stumbling across this lady on YouTube named Abraham Hicks, which is, I just have listened to fucking, God, at least 100 hours of her material, if not more. And she really preaches the law of vibration, but more so feeling good now. And that's really kind of a backbone with law of attraction. Everybody says you need to feel what you want now. So I really started to practice feeling good in the moment. And she introduced a lot of ways to do that. Like a lot of useful techniques to feel good now. So I had started to practice this stuff. My God, it's made a fucking difference. And I had a huge revelation about traders as a whole. So at this point, I'm starting to go into sessions completely comfortable and relaxed. And I'm vibrating at the level of complete comfort. Okay? And when I say vibrating, it just, that word is really resonating with me. It's not like I'm summoning fucking magic here. So I get into this state where I focus on comfort and clarity, and comfort and clarity. And I was doing it over and over for like 2 weeks at a time. And as I continue to do it every day, like the momentum of that thought started to pick up to the point now I can just sit in a session and I'm completely calm. And I'm at this point where I'm so content, I'm not attached to outcome. I'm extremely patient, and I really don't need a trade. I did so good in January, I don't really need to trade. And when I've really let go of outcome, my trading surprised me. I started pulling things off that I'm like, I didn't have an expectation of like doing this well today, and it kept happening. I'm like, I didn't have an expectation of doing this well today, and it kept happening. And it was just like, not the biggest days ever, but they were good days. Like I was solid as hell. You know, I got back into this groove of just like green. Just this groove of just solid green. It's by no means the biggest P&L days, but then there would be the one day out of the week where it was pretty good. So I also think the environment kind of is dictating. Like I think January just naturally was one of those environments where you could just knock them out of the park. So I also do believe that February wasn't quite like that anymore. But I hit this place of just complete disconnection, but complete calmness, this place of consistent flow state. Where, you know, one thing like a trader, an experienced trader, a lot of his edge is an experience, and a lot of edge in an experienced trader's arsenal is going to be intuition. And what's interesting is Slim Trady had sent me this video from some MMA coach, and he talked about if there's a guy who's really good at defending, and he's really good at defending kicks, if he goes up against the guy that's really good at kicking and he lets fear take over, he will not perform well. And I really started to see that in my trading. I started to pay more attention to my awareness. I had always really been aware in my trading, but now my awareness in my trading has gone to a different level because of, well, really listening to Abraham Hicks and practicing a lot of what she preaches about just always trying to feel good in the moment. So it was to the point where, like, I was so acute to, it's at this point now, I'm so acute to slight bouts of like FOMO or anxiety or anything. Because the problem is with a lot of traders, once tilt kicks in, it's probably too late and you're catching it when it's too late. But if you pay close enough attention to your body, you can kind of sense the beginnings of negative emotions associated with trading. And what I do is I immediately go outside, I stop thinking about trading, and I do something I enjoy. And I'll be talking more about that later in the video. So it's almost like this ADD thing where it's like I just switch my thinking completely. And then I would come back in and I would make sure when I go out, I pump myself up to where I'm feeling really good. Do you remember, like, I don't know, some of you might be Jewish or whatever, but those of you who celebrated Christmas, do you remember during Christmas mornings as a kid, you'd be like fucking pumped as hell? I try to get myself on that level of pumpedness where I'm like, oh, yeah. Or I'm like, oh my God, I feel fucking good. Like calm, like this narcotic calm. It's to the point where I can artificially induce that feeling, and you guys can do it too. And then I would make sure that, like, I would stoke it up like a fire on a fireplace. I would feed it more fuel so it gets bigger. And then once I'm just like vibing at this level of intense comfort and clarity, then I would allow myself to come back in and trade. And I would step out as soon as I feel, and I still do it, I step out as soon as I feel the slightest angst. And it's fucking magic. Because now I just like am in this state of flow, and I'm not attached to outcome. If I miss a trade, oh well. If it didn't work, oh well. I just don't care. And then I maintain this calmness. And it's like that intuition is so much stronger. There's this moment where something inside of me, when I'm in that complete state of clarity and calmness, something inside of me is like, this is it, hit it. And then I do it. And it just like magic. It works so well. Holy Grail alert. But, whereas if I'm putting on a trade, but I'm fighting anxiousness, I tend to have problems with the trade. I tend to be fighting a lot. Or I might overfight. Or I might cut it too early. But when I just completely go into this zone, and it's so hard to explain unless you've been there. For those of you that are more experienced, have you been in flow state? It is like this complete, I don't know how to explain it, man. It's like a drug. It's like taking a psychedelic. You can't really explain it unless you've done it. But it's like now I'm hitting this mental state on a very, very consistent basis in my trading. And for me, this is the next level. For me, like last year, the next level was sizing up on A+ trades because I consistently trade 4 lots forever. Then I went up to 8 lots, and now I've done 12 lot trades, and then learning to scale down size, scale up size, learning to add 2 winners. Several months ago, half a year ago, that was the next level. And then I also became really clear, like I figured out what expected value was last year. And that was next level. Well, the level I'm at now in my trading, because I'm still developing, is this like psychological shit. And it's so good. And everything's starting to click. And I've had revelations where I've told you guys certain things and I feel I'm wrong. So I need to clear some shit up with you guys here. So now that I'm like hitting this level, and there's other traders that can vouch for this. There's other traders that have told me, hey, when you're upset, you don't do good. And then when they see me happy and feeling good, they can see the performance change. So what I want to talk about is a huge problem in the trading community. So I think maintaining, here's the problem. Let me actually read this comment real quick. So this is a comment I got by somebody, and if you're listening to this video right now, don't take this personal, but I feel a lot of traders are not self-aware in the way most humans are not self-aware at all in the way we carry ourselves and the way we talk and the way we think. We do live in a society where it's bad news all the time, year after year, and everybody on social media platforms are always talking shit and hating on each other. So we do live in a very pessimistic world. So naturally, a lot of us are kind of more programmed on that side of the spectrum. You can be floating between optimism and pessimism. Some people are way more optimistic than pessimistic, and some people are almost purely pessimistic with a very small pinch of optimism at times. Maybe they're just pure pessimistic. So we really do live in a world where the news is always like, it's going to hell all the time. And it doesn't fucking stop. In fact, I was on Twitter the other day trying to figure out this bank shit. I'm like, is the real estate market going to crash? What's going to happen? And then I was just reading all this shit and just fucking my brain started melting because I don't connect to that crap anymore. I'm like, wow, I got a fucking headache. So this was on this is on my bankroll video, and I talked about how I had an identity crisis for many years. I didn't know if I should hold trades or scalp, and I was so split between the two styles forever. So this trader says, thank you so much for this video, Fat Cat. I've been going through the same identity crisis, and it's been really hard. I'm never a depressed person, but this guy says it's really hard, and I've never been a depressed person, but when you say that, you're implying you're fucking depressed now. But he says, I'm a never depressed person, but it's been really hard on me. He said it's really hard twice. I can only get up 150 to 250 before getting stopped out every day. I've tried pushing through it and holding on to my trades, but I feel hopeless and I don't even want to review no more. So the reason I'm outing you, because this is very, very common in the trading community, the first place you guys need to start is you guys need to reword shit. You guys need to reword shit from a place of optimism and feeling good. You really need to. You really, really need to, because a similar thought you have in your head leads into the same similar thought. So, for instance, if I'm thinking about fucking cookies and I think about cookies long enough, then I will continue to think about cookies. Now I'll think about the Great American Cookie Store and the mall. Now I'm thinking about how those cookies smell as I go through the mall. Now I'm thinking about, I would like some fucking white macadamia cookies. I ain't a big chocolate chip guy, So thoughts have momentum. So as you think in one specific way, and bear with me, guys, because I'm going to hit you with a fire hose, and that's why I'm doing the Cult of Fat Cat, because I think what I'm about to share with you guys takes time and skill to learn. It takes time and skill to learn to be more of an optimistic person. You just don't do it overnight. I think that the art of being happy and positive is a skill set, and it just takes some time. Don't get me wrong, you could do it a lot quicker than trading. Okay? So there's a fucking silver lining. But here's the thing. Okay, thoughts carry momentum. So the way you're talking, you need to shift that up. Okay? You need to shift that up. So the way I would really word that is, the way I would do that is, I'm still learning on whether I should scalp or hold. But as I'm going through this, I'm learning more about each style, because that's what happened to me. I'm learning when to hold and when I should switch to scalping, because in my trading, I have to switch between the two styles. I don't just do one or the other. I have to switch it up. So it's not an identity crisis. You're just learning how to switch it up. So this is like how you should be thinking about this. And some days I'm frustrated, but most days I feel good because I'm learning. I know this is a learning process. So like he's talking about depression. At least you can be up 150 to 250 bucks. That's cool. You can get up 150 to 250 bucks. That's fucking amazing. What's good about that is, sure, you get stopped out, but you know what? You're learning. And if you can learn how to keep it, you're going to have to learn how to keep it. You're going to eventually learn how to keep it, right? You know how to get up. That's good. But now you just need to learn how to hold on to it. And that's okay, because that in itself is a skill set, and this takes time. And you're going to eventually get there. You need to believe you're there. This is why it's important to believe you're there. I've tried pushing through it, holding on to my trades, but I feel hopeless and almost don't even want to review no more. Now you got to continue to review. Here's a real big problem. You first and foremost, those of you out there, you need to reword the way you say shit. So another trader the other day, he told me he wants to trust himself more in his trades. He says, I want to trust myself. And I told him the way you're wording shit isn't right. Because when you say I want to trust myself, that tells me you don't trust yourself. You're learning how to trust myself. I'm going to eventually learn how to trust myself. You need to switch it up. That just sounds so much better. He says, I'm trying to find the line of not being emotional trading and trading with trusting my instinct. He says when he trades with instinct, he does better. But then, like I've told you guys earlier, when I'm conflicted and I have a little bit of anxiety about a trade, then it goes against that natural trading instinct you get over the years, when in reality you need to completely surrender to that instinct with no conflicting thoughts, because if you can do that with no conflicting thoughts, typically you're going to do better. And that's what this other gentleman is saying. I'm trying to find the line of not being emotional in trading. We'll get to this later, but the best thing to do about negative emotions is not to think about negative emotions. So we're going to keep unpacking the psychology thing here, okay? So one of the first places you guys should start is just really catch yourself and reword a lot of what you're saying and spin it into a more positive way of thinking. And you should do that with your thoughts as well. The problem is a lot of people are not aware of their own thoughts. A lot of people aren't. Hence the reason you guys talk in such negative ways and set yourself up for disaster. Funny thing is, I've been doing a lot of karting, like go-kart racing, and I did my first official race, and karting to me is very much like trading, and it takes a lot of skill to get good at it. And I just noticed some of the drivers who were tense going into the race that were really fucking good really set themselves up for disaster by the way they were initially carrying themselves in. And funny thing is, the way shit unfolded for some of these drivers was almost like they manifested their own downfall, because like just weird shit, like mechanical issues would happen or something else to where it just started to go to hell. It's kind of like, have you guys ever like woke up and just felt really good and then all this great shit starts happening? Right? Or if you wake up, stub your fucking toe into the door jamb, and then you're upset, and then you go to work, and then there's like an accident, and it takes even longer to get to work, and then you argue with a coworker. You know, it seems like when you have a bad day, it just gets shittier and shittier. Same thing can be said about relationships. You meet somebody, and it's a wonderful relationship, and you're like madly in love, and all this great shit starts to happen all of a sudden. So that's kind of where I draw the line with the mysticism type shit. But I just notice that there seems to be a chain of events when people are, for instance, bitching about market conditions. Because and it's not that it's necessarily the magic part where it just unfolds that way. When you're bitching and complaining about market conditions, clearly you're not seeing it. And now you're not in a place of flow state. So when you're not in the flow state mindset, you're more likely to press bullshit trades. So really being in a great place will make a difference in your performance. I mean, athletes at the top of their level perform with confidence, and they perform in this level of looseness. Whereas, a lot of these newer traders, you guys start to freak out. And the one gentleman who was talking about being depressed with this shit, unfortunately for this guy, and if you're listening, I'm trying to help you here. Unfortunately, what you don't realize you did is now you are associating trading with negative emotions. You're baking a bunch of negative emotions into the trading session. So now you're at the point that when you sit down to trade, you're probably already not feeling that great. You're probably already sitting down and going, I'm going to get stopped out today. That's the thing. We can attach emotions to specific things. For instance, if you're in a new relationship, right? I got into a new relationship. It was back in, July or whatever. It was just fucking rainbows and fucking puppy dogs and pure bliss, joy, love. Nothing wrong with this person. Right? It was just great. But as the months went on, anxiety kicked in. And then all these other negative emotions slowly started to kick in. And then right up near the end, it was just really negative emotions towards each other, right? These really negative emotions towards each other. Maybe not my relationship necessarily, but that's how they tend to go, right? When it goes that, first get with somebody, it's great. But now, as you wake up every day, you fucking might hate that person. Not that I hate my ex or anything like that. But I'm just saying, same thing with the job. You might have got hired at a new job. You felt great. But as the months go on, your emotions start to shift slowly over time to where now you resent this job. And the moment you fucking walk in, you're like, fuck this place. it's not a good environment anymore, and nothing may have actually fucking happened. Like, you may just walk in through the front doors and be fucking mad for no reason. And and a lot of people are doing this with trading. I think this is why the failure rate is so fucking high. Like, I know I did a video on why I think the failure rate is really high and shit. I mean, if you want to... It was actually a pretty popular video. You guys can check it out if you want. But I had a revelation that it's like this guy's comment here, and just watching how other traders talk and shit throughout sessions... A lot of people are fucking really negative towards this job at some point. And this is where I think newer traders have more advantage. So if you're brand new, when you're brand new and you get into trading, you're like, holy shit, I can work from home. I can make billions of dollars doing this. Then you start to fucking fantasize about all the Lamborghinis you're gonna fucking buy and shit. And then you know, when you're brand new, probably for all of us, I think I could speak amongst every new trader, this is very exciting. This is a great journey to embark on. You're so excited to learn. You're excited to sit down and trade. You're excited to look at charts. You're excited to do order flow. Woo! You know? They have a fucking advantage. Because what I think is happening is, at some point, trading psychology comes to fuck you. It does. It happens to every experienced trader. That at some point, you know what you're supposed to be doing, but you're the one who keeps fucking it up. It's like, okay, the setups have edge, the system has edge. I just need to be more disciplined. I needed to be doing this or that, and I just keep fucking up. And at some point, the psychology becomes a real big fuck you. Well, here's the thing. I fucked up by always telling people, hey, this isn't what you think it is. It's going to take forever. It's going to be a brutal, long journey. You're going to be walking through the pits of fucking hell. You know, this is so hard. You shouldn't even do this. This is a fucked up job that doesn't guarantee shit after years of... You know, that's how I would talk for fucking ages about this. And people are like, hell yeah, fat cat. Tell them the truth. Now it's like, oh, shit. I'm just sucking the joy out of their fucking heads. And that's the thing with, like, all the other shit I'm going to be talking about on the Cult of Fat Cat. When it comes to manifesting anything in general, you should not be attached to outcome. Same thing in trading. It's just you can't have a deadline. It's going to happen when it happens. You're going to get good at it when you get good at it. That's just how it works. Where I fucked up is the new traders are... Here's what happens. All right. We have two fucking scales here, right? We have a new trader who is full of excitement and joy and loves learning and loves doing this and loves just trading on demo or whatever they're doing. But over time, when they first show up, there's zero experience. So over time, they're getting more experience. But over time, they start to realize this isn't what they thought it was. They're like, oh shit, this is going to take longer. Oh fuck, I'm frustrated. Everything I do ain't working. And then they're going to go from indicator to indicator, system to system. And this is fucking hard. And then this frustration's kicking in and then all these emotions. But at the same time, they're gaining more experience. So they start off here, no experience, high emotions. And then it fucking slowly inverts. And then you're at the point where you're so fucking experienced that you should know exactly what the fuck you're doing. But psychologically, you keep fucking yourself. And in my opinion, if you could have fucking maintained the psychological aspect, that excitement, those good feelings, if you could just maintain it as you gain the experience, the journey will be a lot more enjoyable. Okay? Why the fuck do you guys want to make this harder on yourself emotionally than it has to be? Wouldn't you guys all agree with me that if you could just do this and be happy and stoked every fucking day, it would just make this a lot better? And if you could just eat that pill, red pill, blue pill, we eat the red pill and we're fucking happy and high every time we sit down and trade. Wouldn't you guys all take that fucking pill? I mean, one of you is probably like, no, I want to be pissed and angry. Fuck you. Okay? You want to be that guy, that's fine. I think here's the problem in the trading community. I hear it from all these experienced traders. Oh, nothing matters. The only thing that matters is edge. You just need trading edge. Most traders don't have trading edge. Psychology isn't even that big of a deal. Psychology doesn't matter until later. First, you need to find edge. Okay, well, here's the fucking problem. Pretty much everybody that's watching me is a fucking retail trader. So we don't have some guy that we can just go get edge from and sit behind him and breathe down his neck and whisper sweet nothings in his ears as he's trading and just get edge from that guy. Even when somebody hands you edge on a silver platter, you fucking need experience because trading is a performance sport and it's an art form. You're going to have to craft your own identity. So I'm on the side that says psychology is fucking important. And you need to be working on it well before you even get into trading. I think you need to be working on psychology as soon as you get into trading. You should have been working on it just to have a fucking better quality of fucking life. Because a lot of people think that once you have money, then I can be happy. Once I have the woman of my dreams, then I can be happy. For the ladies on the channel, there's like 5 of you. Once you have the fucking man of your dreams, hey, you'll be happier. Even, no offense, ladies, but I see this with like women I've dated in the past. When they're depressed and sad, they would use something called retail therapy, where they just go buy shit to feel better. But it's so temporary. Fuck, dude. You know what? I hired a fucking coach. Like a breakup coach. Yeah, I did. No shame in that. I also hired him because the girl I was with has BPD, borderline personality disorder. So, I mean, it's very clinically diagnosed. So that's a very tough relationship to be in. And this coach happened to specialize in that shit. But what was interesting that this coach told me is he has 2 clients, one worth 30 million and the other worth 90 million. He's like, those are the most broken fucking people I've ever worked with. And they got all that money? So, some of the most piss poor people are the happiest people. The real thing here is finding happiness now, guys. That's part of what the Cult of Fat Cat is, going to be talking about this shit. And on this episode now, I'm trying to fire hose you guys with a lot of this shit. But it's like trying to learn trading in one video. It's just not going to work. So, like, I mean, for me, it's like that's something I've always done is find happiness now. Be happy now. Be happy as you're going through the trading journey. You have to be. It just makes it easier. It makes it easier. And you need to work on it now because it's like... Because I notice when a lot of traders try to work on the psychological aspect, you guys fucking suck at it. Like, I'll read report cards. Like, I'll read other traders' report cards, and some of them are like, wasn't disciplined today, need to do better tomorrow. That doesn't do shit. How? What are you going to do? That doesn't gonna just willpower this shit into existence? Fuck no, you ain't. So I think working on psychology now is fucking important. The one trader that is so depressed and is up and gets stopped out every day and doesn't want to review anymore, do you know what my suggestion is? Stop fucking trading for a month and work on what I'm about to share with you, or what I've been sharing with you, and what I am about to share with you. And then when you feel really good, then sit down and trading. In fact, I think nobody should be trading. And this is just theory, but I really do feel this, especially from my own experience. I don't think you should be sitting down and doing this unless you feel really fucking good. I mean, because it's so easy to make mistakes. I think when you are absolutely feeling at your fucking best and you need to figure out how to do that, and there's ways to do it, which I'm going to share. I know I keep saying this. This is a long episode. Only sit down when you feel really good. And the moment a slight amount of angst kicks in, step the fuck out. And think about something completely different. I'll talk more about that in a bit. Why you need to switch thinking. Because you cannot... Because the thing is, when you're like, oh, I'm depressed, I got anxiety. By that time, it's a little too fucking late. And by thinking about it, that's like a cigarette smoker trying to quit cigarettes. I got to quit cigarettes. I got to quit cigarette. I got to stop smoking these cigarettes. I don't want to fucking have the urge to smoke the fucking cigarette. Every time you think about the cigarette, you want the fucking cigarette, so it doesn't help. It doesn't fucking help to think about not doing what you don't want to do anymore. The solution is to completely think about something different, like you got shiny object syndrome. But here's the problem. So now you know why psychology is so important, in my opinion. And it makes sense why you should only do this when you're happy and excited. Because you're going to perform better. And it's going to be a more enjoyable experience. And this is like that fucking relationship you first get into where it's fucking beautiful. But you don't want to go down the path of resentment and have a terrible breakup, which that one gentleman seems to be having a terrible breakup with the markets. So as your fucking marriage counselor Fat Cat, the cult of cat, might help you more on this shit in better detail and personal stories. Even though there's like one episode up right now. It's just an introductory video, but I will be doing... I just have the urge to do that channel. I will continue to do this channel. But that's like with me, it's like sometimes I just don't want to do content. So I just... Because every time I think about it, it's like, And I make sure I get to this point where I feel good as fuck. And now I just have like this urge to make content. Like I'm on off with making a course. Some of you might know I'm making a trading course. You know what's crazy is I talk about the tick drill in the course. And I'm like, hey guys, you need to have fun when you're doing the tick drill. And I was thoroughly having fun doing the tick drill in the course. And my fucking win rate was really fucking high. And I'm like, wait a second. And this was some time ago. I'm like, wait a second. You do need to have fun when you're learning about trading. And that's where all these revelations are coming in. So, a big problem is a lot of traders lack awareness. But really, a lot of people lack awareness. Meditation, okay? Meditation is the tick drill of psychology. It is the tick drill of awareness. Because the tick drill isn't just to pick up a tick. I actually made a video on all the other skills you learn while doing a tick drill, like mouse control, learning how to be comfortable with cutting trades, learning the art of the break even. It's not just about picking up a tick. Same thing with meditation. So the thing about meditation is a lot of people are like, oh, I can't do it because my mind doesn't shut the fuck up. Good. It's not supposed to. That's good, because most people live in the past or the future. We're always thinking about something in the past. Oh, I should have took that trade. Fuck, why did I take that trade? Why didn't I cut the trade? Why am I still holding the trade? Why did I move that fucking stop? Why did I get on tilt? Why did I do this? Or fear of the future. I'm in a winter. I might need to cut it now. Thinking about the future. Oh boy, is this going to go to the target? It's not going to go to the target. It's going to go to the target. I don't know if it's going to go to the target. Well, I got to cut it. I got to get back in. I might have to cut it back in. So, like, that's essentially what anxiety and depression is. Anxiety is usually the fear of the future. Depression is you're sad about something that happened in the past. And you fucking guys is living in the future and the fucking past, and you fucking trading. And the moment I notice I said, I fucking missed the trade, I go the fuck outside. I'm like, hey, I shouldn't be talking like this. Right? Hey, it doesn't matter. It's over with. It fucking happens. There is literally nothing I can do about the fucking past. So this is where meditation is really beneficial. You're living in the moment. You're living on the hard right edge, baby. You're focusing on the breath. Meditation is a practice to where you live in the now, in the moment, right? Some people go on fucking vacation and they thinking about all this other bullshit, and they ain't sitting there enjoying the beach, the water touching their toes, the sand going up in the ass crack. You're not enjoying those finer details in life, right? I love when you get fucking sand in your car, because once it's in there, you'll never get it out. But anyways, that's the importance of meditation. You're living in the moment. What else? What other things do you need to do where you live in the moment? Trading, maybe? Yeah! You need to live in the moment when it comes to trading. You can't think about what the fuck happened. Because every time you place the trade, it is in the moment. When you take the trade off, it is in the moment. And if it's a trade you need to hold, you can't have this anxiety about the future. You need to play what is going on now. Right? So meditation is the tick drill of psychology. So it not only does it teach you how to live in the moment, but it also teaches you the importance of focus. Some of you guys can't focus for shit. We live in a society where nobody can fucking focus for shit. That's probably why this channel has only got 10,000 subs. Because most people cannot fucking sit here and listen to a video for this long. For those of you who have made it this far, thank you. I mean, yeah, you know, I appreciate it. So those of you that have made it this far, I appreciate that shit. But most of society, I mean, fuck me. You got TikToks, you got YouTube shorts. Yes, I know I've made YouTube shorts. But like, though, you can't handle more than a minute of something before your fucking brain's like, next! You know, it's like, I'm bored, next! Trading is mostly a boring job. Trading is mostly sitting there and doing absolutely nothing, but you need to fucking pay attention the whole fucking time. For the most part. Like for me, dude, like today I took a really good trade. And it literally took almost all day to set up. But all the little things that were happening, I had to use to create a narrative. Those are all contextual cues. So, and also when it comes to order flow, do you know how many of you traders, you guys, have tape up and you don't even look at it? It's just like it's there. There's so many traders that have order flow shit up and they ain't actively paying attention to it ever. And they're like, it doesn't fucking work. It's like, because you can't fucking focus. Trading requires a lot of focus and a lot of patience because there's a lot of not doing nothing. And the moment you go do something else that has nothing to do with trading, you're going to be missing important contextual information and you're going to fuck yourself. So focusing on the breath helps you learn to maintain focus. And it's just quite amazing how quickly the mind starts to wander. So not only does meditation help you with focus and also living in the moment, two very important things with trading, it allows you to be aware of the wandering mind. Why else would you need to be aware of the wandering mind? Well, first and foremost, you need to keep focusing on a trade. There's so many traders that put on a trade and they immediately start texting about it. And then they ain't even paying attention no more to manage the fucking thing. So, like, or these thoughts of anxiety. Oh, fuck, is it going to come back? Do I need to cut it now? Right? Or whoop, I might need to FOMO the trade, you know. The thing is, you need to catch these psychological things where your mind starts wandering. So when you're meditating, the mind, you know, I'm like, okay, here we go. Here's a little bit of meditation. Breathe in, breathe out. I'm focusing on the breath. Breathe in, breathe out. Focusing on the breath. Breathe in, breathe out. Shit. I would love some cookies right now. I just breathe in, breathe out. Cookies. Breathe in, breathe out. Focusing on the breath. Chocolate chip. Breathe in, breathe out. I don't know. I don't like chocolate chip. Breathe in, breathe out. I'm thinking white macadamia mango great American cookies in the mall, you know. Breathe in, breathe out. You know, just kind of hang out. Maybe go to the Van store, get some shoes, get some new shoes at the Van store. I'll go to the store, you know. Yeah, I'll go do it. I'll make it a day. Maybe after oh shit, I'm meditating. Bring the mind back in. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. That's what meditation is. It really is. So, but as you practice it and as the mind wanders, which is great, you get better at bringing it back. You get quicker and quicker at bringing the wandering mind back. Not only do you get quicker and quicker at bringing the wandering mind back, but you also start to hold the focus on the breath longer as you're living in the moment longer. So again, we're catching the wandering mind a lot faster, right? Oops, sorry. We're catching the wandering mind a lot faster, so we're able to bring it back sooner. That's great in trading. We're able to hold our focus longer. That's great in trading. And we're able to live in the moment longer. That is great in trading. Okay? So that is one of the first places really to start is the meditation. Remember I told you guys earlier in the video, I think you guys should start rewording things. Like you need to reword the way you think and write shit out in a more positive aspect. The problem is you can't do that unless you're aware of it. So really the first place anybody should start is meditation. I mean, fucking 10 minutes a day. I do it going to sleep because I have horrific insomnia. And that helps when I lay there and just meditate before bed. I do it every day, sometimes multiple times a day. Yeah, there's my moments where I may not do it really for shit for a month, but I'm getting better at it. This is a practice. So you know, that's why meditation is so good, and that's the first place to start. Now, certain things I'm going to be sharing with you guys from this point forward is really going to do you no good unless you're really good at self-awareness. So, when it comes to trading, you have to be good at catching these emotions before they become a problem. So you would think. Okay? So you would think. But there's a completely different way about doing this shit. Okay? So another place I would go is learning how to rampage on positive emotions. So there's something called a focus wheel. And I'll kind of explain what that is. So let's say I want to be more patient in a trading session. Right? Maybe I want to be more patient in a trading session. Maybe I need more patience, and I want to be in a state of flow. I want to be more aware. So I need more clarity. So maybe that's really difficult for me to kind of just do that, right? Maybe it's really hard for me to sort of envision being patient. Like, maybe I'm not a patient trader. Maybe I'm very like, ugh. So when I think about trading patience, I'm not good at it. It just doesn't resonate with me. So the thing is, what are you trying to achieve? What is a dream you're trying to achieve? Maybe we could talk about love. So let's switch it up to love. Okay? Maybe you want a partner or some shit, right? And you don't feel you're worthy. And when you think about being with somebody, it just doesn't resonate with you. So what you want to do is find the path of least resistance. So what do you love that you love right now? For instance, I love my cats. I love my cats. I love how fuzzy my cats are. Right? So what I do is out loud, I start to rampage on things that I love that is easy for me to love in this moment. So I'm going to give you an example of rampaging. So I love my cats. I love brushing my cats because they're hairy cats. And I love when they lay down and start purring. I love it when my cats are outside frolicking and playing in the grass. It brings so much joy to see my cats. And I just love these creatures. I love my little fuzzy creatures. And I actually have been giving car rides to Tarukin of recently. And I love going on car rides with Tarukin. Tarukin loves car rides too. And I love it when he sits on my lap in a blanket and starts making biscuits with his little paws. Because I put a blanket on my lap and I love petting him as we cruise down the road. And it's so comfortable. It's so comfortable. I love just driving with him. I'm probably going to do that after this video, actually. I'm going to sit there and take Tarukin for a car ride and listen to good music, and it's going to be so comfortable just to cruise at night because I love cruising at night. I love just going for a little night drive because, I'm a vampire, and I just love going out, and I just love the feeling of love. I love the feeling of love. I love the idea of love. I love feeling love. I love my trading community. I love having 10,000 subscribers. I love the community I've built around trading. So I'm going to stop there. That's a rampage. Rewatch that. Can you feel it? Can you feel what I was doing there? So now I feel love in my chest. And then I slip in these other emotions. Like calmness. I'm going to go for a car ride. I'm going to listen to good music. It's going to chill me out. And then I'm going to listen to good music. And as I'm sitting in the car, I'm living in the moment, like meditation. I'm living in the moment. As I'm rampaging, saying these things out loud, think of every word carefully and resonate with it. Live in the moment. It's like an advanced meditation. So this is some Abraham Hicks stuff. It's life-changing. So I'm going to go for a car ride. I'm going to be so comfortable. I'm going to just be cruising, petting Taruk, and this is so comfortable. And I just have clarity on what I want to do. I have clarity on what I want to do on my new channel. You know, I have an abundance of subscribers. Maybe, see here, some of you may have never made good money in your life. Some of you may feel you can't make good money in your life. Maybe some of you have this little voice in your head that says you're not, you know, that's constantly nagging you about money. That's resistance. So a way to rampage is to like, what do you have abundance in your life? What are you prosperous in your life right now? Do you have an abundance of friends? Do you have an abundance of friends, or do you have an abundance of cats like me? I have an abundance of cats. I have an abundance of YouTube subscribers. I'm abundant in YouTube subscribers, and my YouTube subscribers love me, and I'm very prosperous in the love that my YouTube subscribers give me. And my cats have an abundance of hair, and then I have an abundance of freedom because I get to do what I want from home. And maybe you're trading from home, so you have an abundance of freedom too. Maybe you're fortunate to be in a position to have an abundance of freedom to be able to potentially do this job. But when I say to do this job, maybe it creates a little resistance in your mind and you're not resonating with it. So take a step back. What are you abundant in? Are you abundant in having a lot of friends? Are you prosperous in self-love? Are you? So every word has a different resonance to it. Love. I love you guys. I hate you guys. I fucking hate you guys. Do you? And I don't. I'm sorry. I love you. I love you guys. But do you see when I say hate and love, it just feels different in the chest? Same thing with words like abundance, clarity, calmness. What can you find in your life right the fuck now that has nothing to do with trading? But find that similar emotion. If you lack patience, if you lack patience and clarity in your trading, what are you clear on? And what makes you calm right now? And rampage it, dwell on it, and say it out loud. Because what did I tell you earlier in the video? One thought that you have leads to a similar thought, and that next thought will lead to an even similar thought. Right? So I can sit there and resent my ex-girlfriend, right? I'd be like, fuck that bitch, that bitch did that to me, I can't believe it. And then it just keeps going, and then before I know it, the whole day I'm fucking pissed off. I start off with like, and then it gets throughout the day, it's like, and then if I just let that go unchecked all day, then I got a fucking headache. What did I tell you? You ever notice when you wake up and you have a great morning, shit magically gets better and better throughout the day for the most part? Or you just start feeling better and better throughout the day? Or if you wake up pissed, it just gets worse. So if you're on trading tilt, the best thing you can do is take a nap. Because when you go to sleep, you can't even meditate out of this shit. There's just a point where meditation you can't do. So when your thoughts are out of control, go to sleep. When you go to sleep, the thinking stops. Thank God, right? But the moment you start waking up, start rampaging on something you feel good about. It doesn't even have to be trading related. For instance, I love to like rampage on love or some shit like that hippie shit, right? That's why I'm making a fucking hippy dippy fucking cult of cat channel, right? Where I'm like, love and peace, everybody. Because I like that shit. I like to be around other people that are happy and loving and nice. I don't want to be around pissed off fucks all the time. I know I cuss and look like I'm mad, but I'm really a happy person. It's just nicer to be around nice people. It really is. What the fuck were we talking about? Oh, yeah. So thoughts carry momentum. So this is like wake up. As soon as you wake up, just like rampage about something that you really enjoy in life, something that might bring you joy, happiness, some positive emotion, whatever it is. Because once you start feeling good on whatever that is, it can be anything really that's positive. As soon as you wake up, I love my cats. I love my cats. Look at the cats. I love the cats. We went for a ride, right, Taruka? You look good today, Taruka. Look at your eyes. You got good eyes, Taruka. I love your eyes. I love it. I love it when you put your little tail up and rub on my legs, Womack. You rubbing on my waist, Womack? You hungry, boy? You look good, Womack. I love it when you rub on my legs, Womack. Come rub on my legs, Womack. That make me feel good, Womack. Ooh, feeling that fuzzy body on my legs, Womack. I love that shit. Can you feel it? Keep it going, because then you get in this vibrational state where you're like, wah, 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 wah. You're like a fucking piece of plutonium radiating radiation of feel good. And then, that carries momentum throughout the session, throughout the day. Maybe it lasts for an hour. Maybe it lasts all day. It takes practice. But the reason I say do it with anything, do it with the path of least resistance. Focus on it. Live in the moment. Focus on what you're saying very carefully. Don't say this shit and think other things. And even though that shit has nothing to do with trading, the essential emotions you need, like calmness and clarity, start to come up with you feeling good. So find something you feel good about. If I'm not like confident in the abundance of having wealth and making a shitload of money, maybe you're not confident in that. That's too specific when you think about that shit. You can't really be like, oh, I'm going to be a 7-figure trader. If you say that and you're not feeling it, that's a problem. So find something else that makes you feel really good and practice that every day, because as you do that every day, then you kind of drag the emotion of being a 7-figure trader up. Because if I focus on it, now I'll start to feel it a little sooner. In fact, you want to kind of ease your way into more specifics. So you want to start off very general stuff. Like, I have an abundance of YouTube subscribers. I do. I have an abundance of YouTube subscribers. I'm prosperous in YouTube subscribers. Get a little more specific. I have an abundance of knowledge in trading. I'm very prosperous in trading knowledge. That's a fact. I'm very abundant in trading knowledge. Very, very abundant in trading knowledge. And then, spend a few days, weeks doing that. And then start to slowly reach the hand out further to the specifics. I have an abundance. I made an abundance of great trades today. I made an abundance of great trades today. I just very prosperous in great trades today. Reach out a little further. I'm abundant. I'm going to be a 7-figure trader. I'm going to be very abundant. I'm prosperous. I'm a 7-figure trader. And then when you can feel it in your chest and your heart, that is a focus wheel, basically. So it's a wheel. You can do it yourself. You cut it up in the sections. Put the most specific thing you want in the middle section. But then start off with the most broad, general, easy emotion that kind of associates with that, to where you can feel the vibration of that emotion now. And it doesn't have to relate. And then slowly get more and more specific as you go around the wheel. So you want to cut it up like a pie. And then as you get more specific with the focus wheel, you want to start to continue to resonate with that emotion. Right? For instance, because this is easier. This is the easiest to understand. Maybe I want a partner, right? Maybe I want a love interest or something. I'm not resonating with this. So I, again, start off with the idea of love. I love my cats. I love my cats. I love feeling love. I love loving the cats. I love the love the cats give me. I'm going to get more specific. I love the idea of love. I love the idea of love. I love the idea of a relationship. A little more specific. I love the idea of a relationship. Maybe that's not quite resonating with me. Not quite feeling it. But I do love the idea of love. I love the cats. So I take a few steps back, right? I love the cats. I love the idea of love. I'm resonating with that. I love the idea of a relationship. I love the idea of a relationship. Now I'm resonating with that, right? And this is where it kind of, I'm ready for the universe to show me my future lover. I'm ready to meet my future lover. I'm ready. I know I will. Maybe I don't resonate with that. I love the idea of a relationship. So take a step back. So you want to kind of work around this wheel, and when you're not feeling it, take a step back. So then I want to keep going around the wheel. I feel the vibration of my lover. I feel the vibration of my partner. I'm content with them coming around whenever they do. That's very specific. And I want to feel it in my chest, and I want to resonate with it. But it's like tuning, it's like a dial on a radio, right? You're thinking of a specific emotion, and as you turn this dial in a circular fashion, you're trying to tune yourself to something relatively specific. But if you're not feeling it within, you go back. You go back a bit until you can start to resonate whatever you're thinking. And if you got to stay on that for the rest of the day, do it. So even though it's not the most specific thing, don't rush yourself to it. And keep turning this dial until you can start to really resonate with something very specific, like being a 7-figure trader, to where it's like, holy shit, I actually feel it, believe it in my chest. So it is important that when you wake up, and it helps when you say it out loud and you rampage and you just start saying it. And it's okay to put conflicting thoughts in there. Like, I'm not feeling it, but when I do feel it, I know what it's like to tap into these emotions of feeling good, but I don't always feel it. But when I do feel it, I feel great. Sometimes I don't feel it. Sometimes I don't feel it. But when I do feel it, it feels great. And when I go to that place, it's amazing. When I go to that place of high vibration, it's really good. It's okay if I don't always feel it. I'm not always going to feel it, but this is like meditation. I'm learning to be aware. See, I'm rampaging right now. I'm learning to be aware right now. I'm learning to be aware of when I don't feel it. So now that when I'm aware that I don't feel it, then I know that I need to start feeling it. So I need to focus on feeling good again. I need to focus on feeling it good again. Moving that dial back and forth. But it's also important, like that one, some of these guys that are commenting on shit, this is why it's important to switch your thinking to positive, right? So for instance, the one trader says, I've been going through an identity crisis and it's been really hard. That's fine. I've been going through I'm going to rampage on it. I've been going through an identity crisis. It's been hard, but it's getting better. I'm learning every day. I am learning. I'm learning about this. It is tough at times. But I'm learning. I do have my moments. I am at least up $250. I give it back. I do give it back. But I'm learning, and I'm getting better at this. Every day I learn something new. And one day I'll learn how to actually keep it. And then I'll get better and better. This takes time, and I'm learning and I'm getting better. Some days I'm off, but some days I'm on. The market goes in cycles. The emotions go in cycles. So there's days where I will feel better. I'm going to feel better. And then you keep it going. You keep riding that wave, and you keep turning the dial back and forth until you can continually slip more and more shit. And then you're going to feel that positive emotion rising up in your chest. Start really dialing the motherfucker in to where you're like, feel real good, baby. And then, woo, off to the races, and then go to that level, stay at that level, and then that momentum carries through the day, and then it carries through the trading session. That's the holy grail. That's the secret sauce. There's more to it than that, obviously. So you got to wake up and feel this way. Because the best way to deal with negative emotions is not to stop the negative emotion necessarily. So here's the thing. Have you ever had a really good day and something that normally would upset you happens, but since you're already having a good day, it doesn't really bother you that much? Right? Maybe you're having such a good fucking day, somebody cuts you off in traffic and gives you the finger and you're like, whatever. I'm having a great fucking day. Right? I got a hot fucking date tonight. I did great at work. I don't give a shit. But if you're having a really bad day and the same guy cuts you off, gives you the fucking finger, you're like, hey, fuck you, buddy. You know, and then you just go off the rails. So, same thing with trading tilt. The best way to handle trading, any negative trading emotion, is to already be in a great place. That's why I say don't sit down and do this unless you're hitting this really high place. Like that one trader, I said you need to take a month off and you need to practice this shit until you feel really good and you want to do this. You want to do this. And I'm just going to have fun doing it. You want to get to that level. So again, the best place to handle negative trading emotions is from a great place. And when you feel good, it is so important to fucking milk it. It is, when you feel good, you want to, it's like meditation. You want to constantly live in that moment. Don't think about the future. If you want to fantasize about badass shit in the future that kind of goes with your good feeling and it makes you feel even better, go for it. But if you're getting too specific and that resonation starts to fade, dial it back in, right? You don't really need to think about the past unless something really good happened in the past. Maybe some great shit happened yesterday. I'm thankful. Have gratitude that you could do that. Oh, I'm so thankful this happened. I'm so happy that, that happened or whatever. Man, that feels good. But you do want to really live in the moment. You can kind of go back and forth, but it's like meditation. Keep feeding yourself these good feelings. When I sit in a trading session, I listen to like nature sounds and shit. Right now, I've been listening to the wind and trees, 10-hour loop. And I'll just sit here and I'm like, man, I feel good. I feel so fucking good. This is so relaxing. I like the sound of this wind. I like the sound of the birds. I just feel good. I feel so good. I feel so good. And I'm just repeating this shit in my head. Oh, I'm so calm. I feel so good right now. And it's like this ongoing meditation throughout the entire session where I'm just like constantly feeling well. Because I'm just building this momentum. And then cool shit happens in real life. But again, that's all that weird paranormal shit is on the Cult of Cat. If you want to check it out, I'd appreciate it. But I'd appreciate you guys subscribing to it. You know what you're getting. You're getting this. You're getting this episode, but more of it, essentially. So I don't know if I need to clean up my cussing on that channel, though, because I do need to cater to families. Fuck them. Shh, I didn't say that. But the thing is, though, like I said, when you're already in a state of feeling good, a high vibration, the slightest thing doesn't really bother you versus when you're in an already shitty state. So if I'm feeling so fucking good and the momentum of that train is ripping its way down the rails, going 80 miles per hour, if I have a slight amount of FOMO come in, like wash into me, where I'm like, oh, fuck, I missed that. Fuck it. I feel fine and shit's just going to work out. It's just easier to deal with that shit. It just goes away sooner. Whereas, like, I mean, it's just so much easier to get ahead of it when you're feeling good. The problem is when you're so tilted, the only thing you can really do is go take a nap or leave to something else because there's really no fixing it. Sure, you can be on major tilt, go outside for 10 minutes, but that's not good enough. You can go meditate, whatever. But the problem is if you're not achieving this high vibration of really feeling good, then you still have this resonance of tilt and anger and frustration in you that it's just going to probably not work as well for you. It's just best to stop, go to sleep. Because there's just a point where the negative thoughts carry so much emotion or so much momentum. It really is like trying to stop a speeding train. You can't. So if you're out of control, the best thing, again, is to go to sleep. Take a fucking nap. That's worked wonders for my trading, honestly. It's easier to stop the train when it's barely moving, but once the train is cooking, there ain't shit you can do about it. There ain't shit you can do but go to sleep. Okay? Or go do something else you like doing. Go find something else completely non-trading related to go do. So that's sort of, that's the focus wheel. That's how you dial yourself into it. I like, and some days I don't have as much positive momentum as I would like. So the moment that thought of FOMO washes through me, maybe it carries a little more weight because I don't have enough positive emotions vibing at a high amount of momentum right now. Sure, I feel good, but as soon as FOMO comes through, maybe it's sticking a little longer than I would like, and it's got a little too much momentum. Remember, I practice meditation, so I'm aware of that thought as it comes in. Okay. So now, at this point, I shouldn't just sit here. I'm going to go outside, and I got these Tibetan singing bowls, and I'm going to bang on these fucking things. I'm going to go out there and talk about shit that I love. Well, like love or whatever. Look at the cats, live in the moment, and stay out there for as long as I need to until I start vibrating at a high level. And when I come back in and sit down and trade, it works fucking wonders, boy. So that right there is sort of, really the fucking that's the next level shit in my trading. So guys, to kind of just recap this stuff, you really need to I think psychology is so important in trading, and I think it's more so about just vibing and feeling as good as possible. And this tool, this technique I'm sharing with you is just really, really been life-changing in a lot of ways, and it's pretty easy to do. And as you carry more and more positive momentum day after day, it compounds. Just like, a new relationship. That resentment and hatred didn't happen overnight. So if you can carry this shit forward, not only will your trading be better, but the quality of your life will be better. It's so important for you to really be conscientious. I can't even say that word. Just really understand what you're thinking. You really need to be aware of the internal dialogue in your mind. That's so important. And over time, you'll get better at catching your thoughts. Because there's times where I'll have these negative thoughts and I'll have this dialogue, like an ex-girlfriend. I keep referring to that. But I'm like, oh, I wish I would have said this to her. I wish I would have said, cats. I love the cats. I love the cats. Look at the cats. I don't even finish the sentence. Switch it. Just like in meditation. Great American cookies. I love the chocolate chip cookies. Look at the cookies. Look at the breath. Breathe in, breathe out. See, that's why meditation is the tick drill of all of this shit. So, if you can get to the point where you don't even finish a thought and then you just switch it back, you're going to get better at switching quicker and quicker to a positive thought. First and foremost, you're going to get more and more aware of when your thinking has gone awry. And as you gain more awareness, you're going to get better at switching the thinking quicker and quicker. And then you're going to get better at staying in the ideal mindset longer and longer. And that's the same thing with the meditation. So that teaches you that. And that is very key to trading. You need to be aware in trading, but not only do you need to be aware, but in order to really control your emotions, the best thing to do is not think about the negative emotions, to switch it up, find the path of least resistance, focus on that, get to a high vibrational state where you feel good, sit down and trade only in that state of mind. And if you do that over time, you are creating a habit of the trading environment being something you love and enjoy. And I think we can all agree that if you're going to have a better time. First and foremost, you're going to have a better time if you're always sitting down and enjoying this. But I also feel that your development as a trader will happen a lot quicker if you always feel good and having a good time doing this. Because think about it, those of you who are doing this that are at a level of frustration, you're going to constantly make terrible decisions because you're not clear-minded. So therefore, that sort of dampens their learning curve, you know? Whereas if you're feeling good all the time, you're more inclined to make better decisions more of the time. Therefore, you should, in theory, I think, accelerate your learning curve. If not, at least you fucking feel good and don't associate this with any negative emotions. And if you're constantly feeling good about trading, well, you're going to be so much more driven to continue to do this versus the guy that's starting to resent it like an ex-girlfriend or a girlfriend he's about to break up with. And then before he knows it, he gives up on this shit. So, I hope you guys enjoyed that trading psychology lesson. Please like and subscribe to this channel. Please, if you're really interested in this shit, the Cult of Cat, I would appreciate that because then the YouTube algo will see some of you guys coming in and then the other people, because starting a YouTube channel from scratch can suck. But again, that channel has everything to do with trading and nothing to do with trading. And I need to share this shit with you guys because this stuff is so important for me for success, like to be in a specific state of mind. Because I'm telling you, I can hand traders trading edge on a silver platter and it doesn't matter if they're fucked up here. And I've coached enough guys that I noticed the ones who are always fucking frustrated don't do as good as the guys that are learning that are always in a great state of being. It's kind of like a placebo. Why does that shit work? Why do you take a placebo pill and the doctor's like, yeah, you're going to feel great. And then you take it and you're like, shit, I feel great. And it didn't do nothing. It was just sugar. It was a sugar pill. Hey, you fucking did that to yourself. Up here, the mind is so powerful. And this is something I love talking about. So, guys, I appreciate it. Again, thank you for the 10,145 subscribers. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next episode, or I'll see you on the Cult of Cat.